So let's just do like a side-by-side comparison. So let's start with their number one sticks. Obviously, BYU has Connor Mance. We have him winning. And then NAU has Louis Grijalva. So you would argue advantage BYU, but it's a slight advantage, assuming Grijalva can show up and run a fast race, right?
Yes, that's important. It's important that he shows up, number one, and runs a fast race. Number two, there's two steps to that. Yeah.
So it's a double advantage for BYU. And then in the second tier, which I have as Blaze Farrow, but you could argue as anybody. It could be Abdi Hamid-Nur, one of Blaze, Abdi Hamid-Nur, Nico Young, or Drew Bosley. One of those guys versus Casey Klinger. Now, Casey Klinger, he was good. I mean, he was a top 25 guy as a true freshman 3 years ago. Mm-hmm. I would still give advantage BYU there. I think Casey Klinger will be – I think they're – like, I could see them putting their top two in front of NAU's one, maybe even.
Yeah.
So I would say heavy advantage BYU on the top two.
Okay.
And then this is where NAU gets this is where NAU gets the advantage. 3, 4, 5 is 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 is advantage NAU. Right? Now 6, 7 doesn't really matter as much. It's more insurance. But 3, 4, 5 is heavy advantage NAU. And the reason why is because BYU loses Heslington, right? And their next guys are Brandon Garnica, Clayson Shumway, who was a redshirt, and Matt Owens. I have them finishing points-wise 33, 36, 38, whereas for NAU's 3, 4, 5, I have them finishing points-wise 12, 15, 17. So that's a big difference.
There's going to be some low scores at this meet. Those are some low-scoring fourth runners. The issue I have with this, and I know you don't want to just take one meet, but the issue I have with this is you look at the title team last year, and you have Mance leading the way, and he's back, and he's reliable, and you think he's going to finish in the top 5. You lose Heslington and Kearney, but you replace those runners with Shumway and Casey Klinger, which is not much of a drop-off, if at all. In many ways, you could say it might be an upgrade. And then 4 and 5 are still there with Garnica and Owens. So there's really not much changing in the top 5. However, NAU doesn't really change anything in their top 5. Yeah, they lose Jordy Beamish from this team, but you have Nico Young entering the fray. And you also just have, you could use Ryan Raff in your top 5, and he's an NCAA qualifier in the 5,000. So there's not much of a drop off. I would, if I was doing the rankings, and I'm not, I mean, you could almost argue pure toss up here. I know you like to do that. You like to say, oh, these two teams are tied, but you just do that for clicks. I would almost honestly do it here and say this thing is a complete toss up, which is just yet another reason why I'm so bummed out that this is not going to happen this season.
But here's the thing. I like what you said, that they kind of are almost a replica of their teams from last year, with Klinger and Shumway replacing Kearney and Heslington, and then Nico Young replacing Jordy Beamish, right? So there's not much turnover. But here's the thing. If that's true, NAU going into that meet was heavy favorite. They were like one of the bigger favorites that we've ever had, right? Now they ended up losing, and BYU had a major upset, but it was an upset. Like, we can't forget that it was an upset. And if typically upsets don't happen multiple times, right?